Hello everybody, Jay Barino here, welcome back. We made it to Chapter 4 of IXION. I understand that Chapter 3 maybe felt like it was starting to drag just a little bit. To be fair, we did expand very aggressively and we did run into resource shortages at times. But there wasn't much of an active threat of straight up losing in Chapter 3. And that chapter is meant more to test your ability to expand appropriately, whereas Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 both will be a little shorter. Chapter 5 especially will be shorter, and it's going to be a little more active in a variety of ways. So you will see as we go. Just to kind of review where we're at, if we take a look out here, we can hit the Alt key and see all of our sectors. So we're back in happy status everywhere. That is because we're no longer in floating corpse fields, and we haven't stayed in the sector for too long. So we have +2, I think, across the board. So we have a little bit of leeway. Surely we're going to get a -1 for staying in this sector for too long, and then we'll see what happens beyond that. But, importantly, we do have the Exo Fighting Dome, which can be turned on. We have enough power for it, and that'll really solve any stability problems that we have. Okay, so we've got the sensitive and the light bulb. Sensitive, let's send you here. Light bulb, let's send you here. And then I have a double probe launcher. I'm really just going to be focused on points of interest because I am so good on resources that I'm not super concerned at the moment of needing
a science ship has arrived
to be doing anything resource related. We're going to want as much hydrogen, as much ice as we can get, but we came into this with so much of both that we're in great shape. So let's check 12H. Several planetary readings from 12H fall outside the parameters of theoretical models. We have landed on 12H, a planet with intense geological activity. Fissures expel gas into the atmosphere and canyons run deep across the planet's surface. We've located a stable area where we should be able to study 12H's phenomena. So let's go ahead and set up our advanced analysis. And Quicksilver, that's you. You're the one. And let's double check that Sector 3 is set up to have enough alloy in stock. It is, but we can give it a little bit more, just to make sure that it can accomplish that fairly quickly. Okay, we're just collecting science here. There's nothing to get. And then let's go ahead and just keep launching probes, again, for points of interest out there. And then double probe launcher is really nice, actually. Down here is looking pretty good. So we're looking for a viable planet as well to colonize. More colonization opportunities. We're going to do our best. I think the light bulb is done, so I guess head up to G. And the science options here are going to start getting weird. They're going to start getting really, really weird. The nice thing, though, is because we're set up so well, there's not much I need to be doing. I could consider opening another sector, but it's not particularly critical at this time. So really, we just need to find some hydrogen and some ice and start bringing them in.
Arrived at its destination.
All right, we're at 12G. Our probe has detected abnormal meteorological activity present on PSR 12G, calling into question our theoretical models. We've descended into the upper atmosphere of 12G. Updrafts and downdrafts of ionized hydrogen form purple-shaded tornadoes and immense green cumulonimbus clouds. A grouping of tornadoes surrounded and circled a massive cyclone on the planet, large enough in size to be observable from space. So I'm going to be real. This sounds like a authorized basic analysis only. They'll conduct superficial analysis of the phenomena, staying at safe distance and collecting samples of atmospheric gas only. Providing data quickly, we'll be able to test our correlating theoretical models of the observable wind forms. Setting this stuff up, I mean, I'm just telling you now, this gets you the same outcome, but it costs you more. This, I think, leads to some losses. So we're just going to do the basic analysis. Again, things get way more risky once you make it to the pulsar, the dead pulsar, the magnetar pulsar system. But in the meantime, yeah, we're just waiting. We can now start kicking off more research. I'm not really sure what research I was leaning into at the time. I think drone bay and then just science ship upgrades so that they can move a little faster. So we grab that one. And then maybe drone bay upgrades. I also need these colonization upgrades. Like, not immediately, but we're going to want them by the end of this We're going to want them by the end of this sector, so we can start them now. The Tiqqun hull upgrades would also be good, but I don't need them. Everything's kind of fine right now. Okay, let's keep launching probes anywhere for points of interest so that our science teams can stay on the move. Our main quest is to go to the Pyrenees. I'm not in a rush to do that. And thankfully, we are not in a rush to do that. Space weather in this system, you can send our small ships into it, no problem. It's like the ice from Chapter 2. Flying through it with the Tiqqun, I don't even think damages you extra, but it has a chance to, like, leech battery life more than normal or something like that. I've never really experienced anything major go wrong flying through this. Okay. What's going on here? After several meteorological surveys, we've concluded the proposed theoretical models of 12G are insufficient. They do not amount for the pulsar activity of the system and its impact on atmospheric mechanics. Understood. We're going to leave. While preparing to depart from 12G, the crew of the light bulb spotted something unusual, different from the observed meteorological phenomena. Translucent tubular formation pierces the cloud cover and rises high into the atmosphere. We can approach the area where the tube formation rises. The team will attempt to survey the unusual tubing. Go for it. Okay, this 12H is almost done.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
And short of opening up our final sector, I wouldn't say there's that much to be doing. Let's go ahead and just keep, sending out probes. Actually, our probe launcher upgrades would be really handy.
Science ship team has completed a task.
So what am I getting? Yeah, we needed to start those anyway. That's good. We can get the dedicated exploration PA. Truthfully, I take it back. I don't need the. I want them. I don't need the. We're gonna get both of these science ship upgrades. The cryopods will be good. That means that if something happens to the science ship, your team can get into cryopods and still live. So that'll be handy. Okay, we're done on 12G already. The first received images from the light bulb indeed reveal the presence of a huge and translucent tubular formation. Upon approach, it appears to possess luminescent properties. Around the formation, the meteorological activity is almost calm and glimpses of the planet's telluric core can be seen. The captured imagery disproves the hypothesis of crew hallucination, and the team wishes to continue with further analysis. So we can authorize external analysis of the tubing. We'll place some sensor beacons around the formation. That sounds safe and fine. Go ahead. And we're not really in a rush. Wait, is my Sector 5 DLS center even on? You don't need to be on. Okay, that's just wasted power because that's not giving anything to us.
A science ship team.
We've completed our theoretical model of 12H. During our studies, Gale Ladner showed signs of mental distress. Concerned that the gas expulsions were the cause, we carried out standard suit integrity tests. No breaches were found within their suit. Later, while we were submitting our results, Gale Wadner was seen leaving the research site. So, this is an unfortunate one. If you want to set up your infrastructure on this planet, you're going to take crew loss. If you try and locate this person, you're going to lose your whole crew, and ironically enough, Godley Wadner will be the only survivor and be able to return to the Tiqqun. So instead, we're just going to leave short one person. We'll go back and restaff at the Tiqqun. I could have just not landed on this planet at all and taken nothing. This one's actually super interesting. It's just I don't want to lose 4 crew. But the science scenario is like super weird and intriguing. So we're going to leave the planet. Womp womp. Very briefly, go ahead and just dock, and then we'll send you back to collect the rest of the science. Let's make sure we continue probing. We have a probe going out there. Yeah, I'm thinking probe upgrades are going to be really valuable just to allow them to move faster. And build faster. Certainly wouldn't be bad. What do we have? We certainly have some hydrogen close to us. Let's go ahead and start looking for that and collecting that. Silicon certainly can't hurt. I mean, truthfully, we have 116 electronics. We have more electronics than we know what to do with. So let's get the sensitive docked and restaffed, and then back out.
A probe has completed its scan.
All right, and then we're going to go ahead and start getting probe launcher upgrades.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Scouting radius is good. I think we want probes moving faster, and then we can grab scouting radius next. We're going to have lots and lots of science after all of this. 12G. The data collected is quite contradictory. The majority of measurements match those taken in other areas of 12G's atmosphere. However, readings from the beacons seem to fluctuate. Isolating these anomalies while excluding the background data suggests that the tubing generates a weak electromagnetic field. Beta radiation and Faust tachyons. The light bulbs team has established several theories and is recommending a more invasive follow-up study. Mission safety protocols advise that the team, who are exhibiting a concerning form of fascination for the tubing, should be repatriated. So look, I don't like that DOLOS, who were responsible for this mess and are really, they're long gone, minus us, is still kind of telling us what we should be doing. But a lot of the times when it comes to like the day-to-day safety, the Eden recommendations are correct. The bigger picture stuff, in terms of maybe the story that I would love to talk a little bit more about, I would question. But if they say, hey, this is probably dangerous and you should leave, then we'll leave. So get out of there. And we're just going to be collecting science at these areas for quite a long time. Again, my waste economy is looking really, really good. We can always turn on another one. We're just making more and more chips. Tempting maybe to just turn some of this stuff off because we don't need it. Let's go ahead and turn on one of these factories. You guys go ahead and start mining silicon because that's what's available to us. And then let's make sure we have a source of ice and make sure that we have a source of hydrogen. This is a point where, like, I actually have so much stuff stockpiled that I'm genuinely not in a rush for, like, anything. I could just kind of sit. And the point when I start being short on resources is when I'm going to start being like, oh no, what do I do?
Happy New Year, Administrator.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Eden. Let's go ahead to 12D. So the light bulb's going to be responsible for this side of the sector. The sensitive's going to be responsible for this part of the sector. Is there anything that's just off that doesn't need to be off at this point? Probably not. Again, I think I have enough steel production. I mean, we're just doing chips at this point, and I'm going to run out of storage for them. So we can go ahead and just start. We can start sending chips just sort of throughout the station. 20 for Sector 3 is fine. 10 here, 10 here. Go ahead and start spreading those out a little bit so that we have room to put the ones that we make. Eventually we can open up Sector 4 and have some additional storage for even more stuff to hold on to. 12D. First readings from 12D indicate the planet experiences intense geothermal activity and extremely high temperatures. Its surface is largely covered with molten basaltic rock. We've located a promontory where we could land the sensitive. Conditions of the planet are extremely dangerous. Soaring temperatures, unusual gravity, we recommend only a quick surface analysis opposed to any further exploration that could lead to human and material losses. You gotta read it. If you look at this, you might be tricked in thinking like, oh, they're blue. They're blue, so we should do the special option because we've got our exoskeletons. No. I think in this case you lose everybody. In this case you lose one person and you get some science. In this case we get a little less science, but we lose nobody. Science is not the resource that is a particular problem right now. So we're just going to perform the surface analysis and get the heck out of Dodge. Continue getting probe launcher upgrades. Probes move even faster. The scouting radius is even larger. And let's just keep moving at high speeds here because we built everything we need to build last time. Light bulb, head over to 12J. 12D is just about done. We can go ahead and start sending people out to pick up that silicon. And then let's make sure that we are mining hydrogen next, followed by ice. You're going to pick up hydrogen. You both can. Quicksilver can do ice because we have room for ice over here. And just double checking, I came into this sector with so much. It's just I didn't have my water tank full up just because I had let it run dry too quickly. Okay, we're getting probe launcher upgrades. Let's head back out here and just run the clock.
A science ship team has completed.
We've completed
a task.
surface analysis of 12D, observing the geothermal activity and its impact on the planet has allowed us to refine a number of planetary ecosystem models. You love to hear it, and we're leaving. Great. There's an unknown structure down here, and in that particular case, I plan to actually move the Tiqqun. More silicon. Again, I don't really even need at this point. Let's see if we can just reveal as much hydrogen in the system as we can. The nice thing, too, is our cargo ships have the speed upgrade, so that's going to just help them get to and from these areas a little bit faster. Our mining ships might be worthwhile to allow them to go a little bit faster. I don't know. Getting a third science ship doesn't sound so bad.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
All right, scans of 12J have picked up unusual electromagnetic activity on its surface. Although not of great intensity, it would seem an electromagnetic wind traverses the planet. The ship's PA becomes corrupted during our descent to 12J, and we had to shut it down. As a result, we can only transmit partial information. Guided by the wind currents of the planet, we're able to locate a suitable landing area. Angular and extraordinary crystalline structures composed of sodium chloride rise from the planet's surface. Our time on 12J must be short. Its electromagnetic activity seems to be impacting the light bulb and its systems. So we could choose to do the crystalline formations or study the electromagnetic activity. They literally tell us the electromagnetic activity seems to be trouble, so we're going to leave that alone and just study the crystalline formations. And then there was a shattering noise. This is another one, though, where...
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
This is another one, though, where by doing the weird option, it's actually really neat. I'm just not going to show it because I don't want to lose crew for no reason.
A probe has completed its scan.
Okay, let's take a look. I would love to turn on another one of these, but that 30 power is very prohibitive. We're going to start bringing in almost too much silicon. So I think we actually... I think we ditch this for now. I think we're going to end up moving cargo ships just because I can recycle everything I need at this point. We can bring in a little bit of iron. But yeah, I'm going to wait for these cargo ships to unload everything that they have, and then I'm going to reconsider how my cargo ships are set up. Okay, they're mostly mining silicon. Stop that, please.
A science ship team has completed a task.
And you're going to be ice. Okay, that should be appropriate.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
So, let's check 12J again. This was the crystalline formations. The report from the exploration team proves several theories on crystal formation under electromagnetic influence. While our team was completing their work, the electromagnetic activity of 12J abruptly ceased. We are going to leave. We're going to collect that science. Let's check how our science is right now. I do want the emergency cryopods because I never finished it. Go ahead and also upgrade the science ship speed because that's really all we're doing. We're just trying to quickly get through the system and... I mean, that's kind of it. We're just trying to quickly locate the system. I do plan on moving the Tiqqun down here. So I'm going to go ahead and scan for resources down here in case we need to start bringing in iron or something. We can scan around the Pyrenees because we're going to have to go there with the Tiqqun as well. Okay, let's check 12E. 12E is an eligible candidate for testing the implementation of our colonization protocols. We have landed on 12E. Although it is a much warmer and more humid climate than that of Earth, it does possess oxygen and other materials that would prove useful for a colonization test. 200 colonists are asked for this. You know who's getting set up here. That's Quicksilver. Get it going. That's a lot of trips. But I'm going to go ahead and move the Tiqqun to this unknown structure. And that'll be very, very close to 12E. I didn't even check how long it would take us to get there, but honestly, I know it's going to be fine because I think the lowest amount of battery power we have, we're over 8 in every sector. There's no way we're going to be even close to that. So that's going to take a while.
Entering stellar storm.
Okay, emergency cryopods is done. Frow's Tachyon Injector. That's just to help them move a little bit faster. Feeling good there. I don't think there's anything at the EVA airlock that would be really beneficial to us. Drone bay. Just the hull in a general sense. The exo fighting dome for stability. Stability is not really a problem at all right now, so let's get our drone bay upgrades. Nope. I wanted to finish this first, please. You know, it's fine. You can do it in any order. We have so much science, and it goes very, very quick.
A probe has completed its scan.
Okay, and we're just going to keep looking around. Are there other points of interest? I just think there's one down here, it looks like. Like way out here? Where is that? Must be right on the edge. There we go. And I think that's probably every point of interest. So let's just keep looking for hydrogen. Because that and ice are the only things we persistently need, and we can recycle our way into steel for the hull. Even just having one of these on is enough. It looks like. Sector 1, let's just go ahead and bring a little bit more alloy in. Just in case something happens. That way we have a little bit of a backdrop. Getting that water treatment is feeling pretty good too, honestly. Okay. Okay, that's the... No, that's the light bulb. Light bulb, we're going to send you down to 12F. And then we got to wait for our probes to make it out here. Our probes do move a little bit faster now. What other probe launcher upgrades are there? This is just probe construction speed and then polymer cost reduction. None of that is really that worthwhile, in my opinion. Okay, we're getting science. Maximum drone capacity. Just again, this just improves logistics all throughout the station. Just make sure that things end up where they need to end up at a pretty quick pace.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
All right, yeah, I think it's time. I am going to unassign 2 cargo ships here because I feel like ultimately I'm only going to need one. I do want, you know, faster hydrogen and faster ice income here. So we're going to unassign these mining ships, and we're going to assign them over here instead. One of these mining ships was the one that we recovered. Yeah, the Pride. That's over in Sector 3. The one that we recovered from the Protagoras. Okay, so you can get Pandora, and you can get the Grail. I mean, we're just going to do something like this. Something just like that. There's not much ice to pick up. We only have one mining ship on it, but that's fine. Even more probes. I realize there's plenty of stuff to find in this system. Okay, we unlike Chapter 2 and Chapter 1 and 1, 2, and 3, we really don't need everything. We need just enough to kind of get through all this science, which is exciting. Okay, we made it to 12F. 12F has an average temperature of 112 K. A number of hot spots were detected across its surface. We also locked onto an extremely deteriorated distress signal. Encoded ID identifies the sender as Augustus Montano, who disappeared into the sphere on crew P-43. We've landed on 12F. Its surface is covered in ice, and the planet is bathed in a red mist around 100 meters in height. Numerous ice formations pierce the mist and extend skyward. The atmosphere indicates a blue light when illuminated by the system's pulsar. We triangulated the location of the distress beacon and identified several sites that could prove suitable for data collection. Find Augustus Montano. This continues the quest for the Beyond Time and Space achievement, the Sphere quest. You had to have done the Sphere examinations in the prior 2 sectors appropriately, the same way that I had.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Okay. So, you're going to be busy for a long time, right? Yeah, it's going. It's going to take several trips. The Sector 3 docking bay isn't overloaded. No, it's fine. It's not overloaded at all. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the cryo centers. I don't need those. That's some easy power that we can save.
A probe has completed its scan.
And then in Sector 5, let's go ahead and turn a couple of these onto alloys.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Did we find Mr. Montano? Arriving at the distress signal coordinates, we discovered a huge deteriorated metallic device half buried beneath the ice. Although of gigantic proportions, it is very similar in construction to the emergency beacons of our suits. While surveying the surrounding area, we found a badly decomposed giant humanoid corpse. Only a few scraps of organic tissue remain on the giant's bones, as well as material fragments of a DOLOS suit. Organic sampling and DNA analysis have revealed the corpse is that of Augustus Montano. We are unable to propose a robust theory for our report. Frost tachyons have been detected in the area, their atomic characteristics apparently altered. Something very shifty going on here. We will establish infrastructure to support advanced analysis. That will be fine. Let's go ahead and send one of our... ice ships that isn't in a particular rush for ice, because we have 1,200 sitting on the ship. It has a long way to go, unfortunately. Let's check our science. So, drone bay, that's right. We want the breath. We want them to move faster, and then, yeah, sure, go ahead and grab the +2. Then our drone bays are completely upgraded, and that is some really solid, really solid stuff. And then lastly, maybe we just go ahead and grab faster cargo ship movement, just so that we can finish these science tasks just a little bit faster. The docking speed as well might not be a bad idea. Honestly, Quicksilver has been doing great. She's been doing fine. Fleet, how you doing? I don't think we need any silicon anymore. So go ahead and go for ice. I don't think we really need any carbon anymore either. The last systems, Sector 3 had so much carbon, like an absurd amount of carbon, way more than you really could ever possibly need. Let's go ahead and grab battery charging as well, because we're going to be flying around maybe more than I would have liked. This is going to take, this is just going to take some time for it to move back and forth. At least Sector 1, where the Grail is going in and out of, has faster docking from the Tier 2 specialization. This is nice, though, that we're getting this colonization done fairly early, and it's the same situation as before. I think they all have to repair at the same time. Where they're going to go on the planet, they're going to just sit there for a while, and then they're going to want to be like, please pick us up. We beg of you, please pick us up. The health center upgrades, the recovery rate being faster is pretty cool. I think I have infirmaries in every sector that I could actually turn off at this point. The single health center might not be enough to house every single person, but you can research the health center to recover faster. So in a way, maybe if I just built a second health center, I could dismantle all my other infirmaries. That would be pretty sick. Okay, we have jumped so many times. I think we also go ahead and we just improve the efficiency here of our repairs, even though I can produce more alloys than I know what to do with at a certain point.
A science ship team has completed a task.
All right, colonization. The temporary test colony has now been established. The colonists will periodically transmit reports on their progress. These will provide us with valuable field data. Very nice. Leave the planet, and then
An accident has
the sensitive can head to this unknown structure.
A science ship has arrived at its
Only one more trip,
destination.
actually. That's not too bad. I finished the cargo ship speed, didn't I? Yeah, okay. Delightful. Wonderful. Looking good. Okay, so let's check this unknown structure. They're going to start getting a little weird. Our probe has detected a DOLOS signal. There is some wreckage here, not much larger in size than the sensitive. Contained within a distress beacon, the emitted signal is incredibly similar to that of the Tiqqun. Investigate the wreck. Okay, I guess we can keep sending our probe out here to look. It's a juicy ice deposit that we don't really need, but the probe speed and the probe size is really nice at this point. Looking for hydrogen, but I may have uncovered all of it. There must just not be a lot in this sector. That doesn't make sense. Surely there's got to be some big hits of it somewhere. Right there is good. Now, I am using up my iron. We might, I mean, every so often we might just want to go grab a little bit more. But I think, I mean, at the rate we make it, we get 65 every 10 cycles. And we're running that out of 2 recyclers. I think it's fine. We want to make sure, though, our trash every so often is really...
The science ship team has completed a task.
Really taking off. We might have to even turn on another recycler. Nah, I mean, it's... No, the waste, it seems fine. Who's holding most of the waste? That's just because we had a dump there. We have a bit of a dump here. Oh, we don't need any in this sector anymore at all because we don't have any mushroom farms there anymore. So we just turn that off. Must have just had a slight dump here. I don't know. Quicksilver, yeah, can continue getting ice. Yeah, I mean, ice and hydrogen is the only thing we need to really upkeep at this point. Unknown structure is done. The team has identified the fragmented wreck as part of the Tiqqun. A large amount of Frost tachyons were detected in the area, as well as the frozen corpse of Tiqqun crew member Fanilo Mbola. Reviewing DLS data confirms that Fanilo Mbola is alive and well on the station. Tiqqun engineers have also verified that the components and plating found at the wreck are still in their proper place in the Tiqqun. The team of the Sensitive see this as a warning, spelled out as an inscription. In an inscription they found on a piece of floating metal. Let's not make the mistakes we know are possible. So we got 800 cryopods and 172 beakers. So we will pick up those cryopods and we'll go ahead and dismantle the wreck. So just kind of thinking this through, the whole Frost tachyon thing in self-similar space, kind of breaking it down, it sort of raises the question of like, how does that type of travel actually work? And I think the answer is it's sort of unexplained in the sense that we seem to not even be in the same timeline when we emerge from self-similar space. So we're not just moving quickly between 2 places. We're sort of breaking some sense of space-time continuum and perhaps emerging or even creating different timelines as we do it.
A science ship team has completed a task.
The wreck has been successfully dismantled. Recovered resources are ready for cargo ship pickup. There's no trace left of the strange phenomenon. And we get the sedation cell upgrade unlocked for cell housing. This, I think, is a game bug. You're supposed to also get a nuclear power plant upgrade, such that once you research it, it's like you can never have an explosion happen at a nuclear power plant. I checked on the Steam forums, and it seems like nobody understands what triggers you to be able to get that upgrade. But we should have gotten it when we investigated the wreck in the first place. I don't really know. Anyway, that's really weird and exciting. What is Quicksilver up to these days? You know what time it is. Go and get this iron and this, and then bring me some cryopods, please. 800. We can also research that sedation cell that we got, increasing capacity of housing by even more. It requires the suspended beds upgrade. I mean, sure. But that should give us the available space in the Tiqqun to house those remaining people. We probably could go ahead and open up Sector 4 as well. Get another docking bay, get another nuclear reactor, get another health center, get a bunch of storage. Honestly, it kind of seems like more trouble than it's worth. I'm going to be real with you. Okay, suspended beds is done, which means now we can make our cell housing hold even more people.
A science ship team has completed a task.
I am going to go ahead and start researching my colonist things. Science ship has completed a task over here at 12F. Sample analysis indicates that the outgassing of nitrogen dioxide from below the surface of 12F and subsequent atmospheric mixing results in the red mist, which dominates the planet's lower atmosphere. The team of the light bulb was also able to establish parallels between the data sets collected on Karuk P43 and 12F's geological activity. Abnormal levels of Frost tachyons were detected beneath the planet's surface, the cause of which remains unknown. Presumably it's because there's a sphere down there, but we'll never know. And we found the odd remains of Mr. Montano, which is, it's a little spooky. Yeah, we got quite a lot of hydrogen to mine and bring on board. Sedation cell is done, so now we have substantially more housing. And we're going to be bringing in 800 cryopods, so that means we're going to be turning these back on here. It's only 5 power, so we can afford to do both. And yeah, we can keep all these folks in Sector 3. Okay, and we can go ahead and actually just turn on auto training of colonists. It only fits 15 at a time. As we get the upgrades for it, it'll fit more and more people, though. So, not quite there yet. We brought in the steel. We brought in the electronics. Yeah, so just keep doing what you're doing. The Nakatomi, what are we doing? What are we doing here? I think I'm just going to have them bring in iron, which requires somebody to mine iron. That can be Thor. So you go ahead and just mine iron. You go ahead and start bringing in iron once it's available, and then everyone has an assignment of some sort. The sensitive, go ahead and go to 12E and collect the science. We're collecting science here, of which there's so much of it. Again, the world is our oyster in terms of upgrades, so I'm just going to wait for this to finish. Up here, this is pretty much all stability stuff, which we don't need at the moment, but it certainly will be helpful to have eventually. Okay, reduced training time. Each training session can now accommodate 50 non-workers. It's the only use of non-workers, train them into colonists. Uh-oh.
A new request awaits your attention.
Uh-oh. Administrator crew members are spreading rumors about the DLS. They think that they're under constant observation and that the information they receive has been changed to encourage them to comply with DOLOS guidelines. They're not wrong, but their interpretation of the process is crude. They're not being monitored but recorded, so that if they... so that if there's any doubt about an individual, their behavioral record could be reviewed. Information is not altered, but expressed to the individual in a personalized manner to ensure their continued emotional stability. That's literally what they suspect it's doing. Should a statement be made in response to the rumors? We have nothing to acknowledge. You're not monitored, you're recorded. You're not being lied to, we merely adapt our speech. It is necessary to protect ourselves from deviant and conspiratorial behavior. These data collection practices are managed by the PA of the Tiqqun. As an administrator, I am also under their supervision. These systems are crucial for the balance of the station. That's the most honest, but also deceptive way to like... Yeah, we'll say that. That's, I think, the only outcome where you don't lose trust, but we also have no issue with trust. We're also at the point where the hull stays on 100% of the time. We have enough of everything to deal with that. So yeah, at this point, we just bring in a little bit of iron. We're running off of one steel mill, and everything's fine. We can bring in a little bit more of that silicon, but again, I have so many electronics that it doesn't matter. Okay, send me back out here. I think we're just collecting science. The sensitive can now move on. Head over to 12L. Let's just double check if there's any remaining points of interest in the system. It doesn't look like it. I don't think we're going to need much iron, but we can scan for resources where it's available. Hydrogen. Yep. We're full up on hydrogen. We should be accruing it on the docks, actually. We are accruing quite a bit on the docks. I think we probably need to stop picking it up. So I think this is the last set of... I'm pretty sure this is the last set of people to get. Pretty sure. What I'll probably also do... Quicksilver's picking up the cryopods. Is we can have one of them still going and getting ice. Yeah, go ahead and just keep getting ice. This is gonna forever tell us that there's idle people. All right, and then team rotation. Each training session can now accommodate 200 non-workers. That's really what we're looking for. That's the most efficient, time-efficient way to train colonists, of which each sector you've noticed would need more and more to do the colonization protocols. This is just because I played this game. These are probably the least worthwhile upgrades for anybody playing this game who doesn't know that you need them later. Like, it's just almost kind of silly. Just a stupid thing. We have a single hull temple. We can reduce the power cost to 1. That saves us 6 power. Oh boy. We can start getting these upgrades so that we can upgrade our nuclear plant. We can also get the waste treatment center. I think it's about time we do that, just so that we have it, because we're just continuing to get more and more waste. Okay, so the sensitive... I think that's it. We're going to have you go to the Piranesi, and then the light bulb is over here at 12C. Yeah, okay. The Sensitive's been with us since the beginning. We've had to replace 2 crew members, one who jumped into a sphere, and then another who, what happened to them? They just sort of wandered off, and we refused to go and find them. Team rotation is done. Let's get that water treatment center. The other thing is, I probably should... Let's take the time to go ahead and focus on some stability. So we need policy cooldown reduced by 5 seconds. 5 cycles. Who cares? But getting the total monitoring, getting +1 stability, that's just +1 stability in every sector because we have propaganda turned on everywhere. And then that's going to unlock the ability to make the Exo Fighting Dome even better. So I think that's probably... in terms of stability, our best bet. So let's do that. Power continues to be a bit of a problem. Not a huge problem, but a bit of a problem. I don't have my cargo ships really doing anything at this point. I'm deciding if I want to just open Sector 4. We have nothing to lose. I have so many resources. I'm getting more and more people out onto the ship. It's looking like I'll be able to fit... Do I have any left to pick up? No. Quicksilver already brought them all. So I guess Quicksilver, you can be on ice duty. You can be on hydrogen duty. And then... I mean, we're full on hydrogen, too. The docks are pretty much full. I don't want you guys bringing... You could bring a little ice. That's fine. And actually, I think Neshmet or Grail on ice. So you turn that off. Neshmet, you can be on ice. Just because that's where we have the most space on the docks. Again, it seems like, I should just expand and get another docking bay. But it's almost, like, why? We don't have to do it. And it's just going to, we don't have enough power. We'd have to turn up the hydrogen usage. And then we'd have to open up a new sector and build another hydrogen plant. We can do that. But at this exact moment, it's not particularly important. So let's just, get back to... Let's finish the science that's available to us.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
First readings of 12C indicate the presence of an extremely intense meteorological activity on the planet. Initial imagery captures hexagonically shaped cyclones. The planet's core appears to be surrounded by a layer of liquid hydrogen. Many moons orbit 12C, surrounded by clusters of asteroids in unusual arrangements. Preliminary surveys have identified many telluric promontories emerging from 12C's ocean of liquid hydrogen. We should be able to establish a research site upon one of the promontories with the help of our gaseous planet exploration equipment. From this closer vantage point, we can see the asteroids that surround the planet's moons. They are almost perfectly spherical in shape. So let's study the moons. We'll study the moons.
Science ship has arrived at its destination.
And we are available to observe the Piranesi. I'm just going to keep spending my science because we have it, and we will worry about the Piranesi once we complete all the other stuff. Just give me that extra stability. We might need it. Okay, and we're training bundled like oodles of people here. 200 in training. Okay, predictive behavioral modeling is done. I'm going to go ahead and get total monitoring for the additional propaganda stability. Stability penalty from only awakening workers has changed to -1. That's when we're like, if I could get that really, really early, it would be good. But to get to this point, early is just not worth it. A gauge is displayed indicating progress towards Tier 2 specialization. No thanks. When this is done, we can upgrade the Exo Fighting Dome. Or actually, I've talked about getting the water treatment center, so let's do that. And then getting the nuclear plant upgrades would be helpful too. Just reduction of power costs, stuff like that. So... we do this one next. Carbon might be worth starting to bring in. I have so much polymer in reserve. I probably not. We're going to turn on auto build for the missile countermeasure at this point. And let's go ahead and just launch the probes that we have to free up the docking of one of those. I think there's plenty of ice and iron to pick up. It's like I've almost scanned all the available resources in this system. All right, 12C. Reports from the team of the light bulb indicate that what we thought were asteroids are in fact telluric satellites orbiting the moons of 12C. A succession of smaller and smaller satellite bodies were observed in a helical arrangement. The team theorizes that this continues to the subatomic scale. Large amounts of Frost tachyons have been detected in the atmosphere of 12C, as well as surrounding many of its moons. We can analyze the storms, hydrogen ocean, and study the planet's intense meteorological activity. Sure, I'd love to. And we'll kind of just let that go. I'll probably end up opening Sector 4 at the end of this chapter, because it's just not needed right now. It's just not needed right now. When the time is right, I'll go ahead and bump the power output here to substantially higher.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Is water treatment done?
A probe has completed its scan.
No, it is in progress. And these guys are doing their thing. Okay, everyone's doing their thing. This is nice. We're pretty much ready to go to the Piranesi. I'm just gonna finish 12C here, and then that'll be a good end here because we basically cleaned this sector out.
A science ship team.
The atmosphere of 12C is extremely hostile. While we were conducting our surveys, a cyclone rose up and pinned us down. Jeanette, Vertigan, and myself were separated from the others. When the winds abated and gave us some respite, we did manage to regroup. However, the others, their suits are orange in color. It's not from environmental factors. They're insistent that DOLOS always had orange suits. This is clearly unique. And Jeanette, Vertinen, and myself are wearing standard DOLOS yellow. They are indeed our crewmates, and medical and psychological analysis does not reveal any deviance. 115 beakers. So, Eden is suggesting that we leave the others, or we leave them all behind and just repatriate the ship itself. Naomi Protocol says bring them all back. The others will not be left behind. Again, this is the first time you play, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know whether this could be good or it could be bad. In this specific instance, it's not going to cause a problem to bring them all back, so we're going to bring them all back. And then we have tons and tons of science to collect. Our colonists continue to work on their stuff. I would maybe almost want to wait until they're done to go and pick them up. So maybe I do want to open up Sector 4, but if we're going to open Sector 4, that means we have to get batteries set up in Sector 4 before we proceed with the main mission. And we are ready to proceed with the main mission. That's the thing. So they're collecting. I'm going to go ahead and end here. And when we come back, we can progress the Piranesi. It's going to make us move the Tiqqun to it in any case. So I will perhaps build out Sector 6, wait for my colonists to be done so that I can then pick them up, and then not have to worry about picking them up later. And then we build out Sector 4, and then we progress into the main part of the mission. Yeah, I think that's appropriate, and I have so much available research to do. Waste consumption cost reduced by 25 and power cost reduced by 50. I think both of these is appropriate. Then we can work towards our nuclear reactor upgrades. Okay, hey, thanks everyone for watching. Sector 4, we just blasted through, compared to Sector 3 that took, like, literally forever. So, yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.